People who are emotionally immature always use these 12 phrases. Say communication experts. So I have to redo this because there's something not correct in the previous post stage. So I am redoing it. So let's evaluate it. Evaluate this article here. We've all dealt with emotionally mature people. They get defensive at the slightest criticism. They constantly deflect blame and then they try to guilt you into feeling sorry for them. In the first place, if you don't want people to behave this way, don't start don't start to instigate them, to irritate them, to judge them, point fingers at them. Try to rationalize appropriately without being too pushy, too controlling, too manipulative yourself. Okay? I mean turning over the table to this person because by the way, two siblings are male and a female siblings, by the way. So they are being too judgmental here and critical towards other people instead of stop and think and evaluate where these people come from, why they have become as thick as they are. They steady chooses to point a finger and go ahead and judge these people. So if that so if they get defensive, it's because they already have a mechanism, one instantaneous mechanism from previous experience. You see, it's a mechanism, it's a defensive mechanism that people have grew. They have grew a thick-skinned. So maybe they have had the traumas in the past or bad experiences with other people. So they learn to be defensive. Take a child, for example, who has always been judged, criticized, judged, and even mocked, etc. They grow as thick-skinned, and this child grow into adulthood to become a liar, because that's the only defensive mechanism which he have learned to use to defend himself from further abuses from others. Okay, be it the same age group or adults. Okay, either home and the neighborhood or even in school. So here's an example that I'm giving to these people who learn to grow a thick skin, and they use it as an armor, okay, to defend themselves. So if you don't want these people to be defensive, don't point a finger in the first place. Try to find another approach to deal with this kind of people, right? It's just like a haughty beast that is haughty. He have been taken so much blow from life, from others, that they learn how to be defensive and even scared. Okay, so they have to be ferocious in order to defend themselves, especially so when they are alone. Do you understand? So they constantly deflect the blame and then try to guilt you into feeling sorry for them. Guilt you into feeling sorry for them. First of all, let's analyze the case. If this person that you are accusing of being always the victim personality, the victim role, okay, if this person did not start the argument, then why you have to to poke tiger with a short stick. Why you have to start first? Unless this person have started first and still guilt trip you and deflect the blame onto you. They do their crap and then they end up by deflect it back at you. Then yes, you are right by saying that. And this person has some serious problem, serious mental problem. Okay, he have learned just to blame, and not be accountable for their own wrongdoings. But here, one has to start first. Who start first the fight? If you are you who is defending yourself from these people, why did you start in the first place? This kind of people is better left alone. Now, if it was them who started all this argument, this person has really serious problem. This is a narcissist. Okay, the narcissist always will deflect the blame, and they guilt trip. They will guilt trip their victim, etc. So as to for people to feel sorry for them. Okay, there's a lot of narcissists like that. So you must evaluate always. Every case is individual and very unique case. So you have to evaluate before you point fingers and say, I started first the argument and then later this person become defensive, or they will deflect the blame because I have started blaming him first, him or her. And then he will use this weapon of guilt tripping you. Okay? They are doing this because, as I said before, this is a scared beast. They attain this kind of personality of a wounded beast. So when they own up this personality, they will try their best to defend themselves from further harm that they have in the past, And then when someone blames him or her, they will remember the past, how much they have been hurted by others. And now they grow a thick skin. Okay, it's like this how human behavior function. So emotional immaturity in not just human alien behavior attitude as well. Emotional immaturity is a growing problem, and whether it is in your personal or professional life, communicating with them can be a real struggle. Well, why you have to communicate in the first place? Why you have to stay trouble? We cannot get away from a fire if we start to smoke or throw lighten up matches or cigarette butt on the gas chamber, on the place where it's full of escaping gas, isn't it? We cannot. So why do you start it first? If you have to deal with such people, you need to have tactic to deal with them, okay? Otherwise, just leave them alone. It's the best way, leave them alone. Leave them heal on their own. As expert on the psychology of communication, we know that if you are not careful, you can also easily run the risk of seeming emotionally immature to others. Why? A lot of guys automatically use certain emotionally immature phrases without even thinking about it. So what? Why you are so worried about that? Why you are so, you're making too much ado out of nothing? Make a tsunami out of a cup of water. For what? Why you are so bothered about that? The day everybody start to mind their own business of the other's business, and I try to clean up their backyard, instead of it Instead of blaming the neighbor for having a dirty backyard or yard or front porch, whatever, then your life will be easier. Your house will be much cleaner. Okay? Take care of your garden first. Don't bother about the neighbors. Unless you are there to help and heal, not to point fingers and interfere, né? Interfering, because this is an interference into the others of the private lives of others, their psyche as well. So we know that if you are not careful, you can that even so what? What's the problem in being like that? Why you have to be so uptight? People so petty, really petty to mind these small things, small details. They want to make a big, big tempest out of nothing, of a cup of water. Here's a list of the most common ones to avoid. Noise at this place. First, it is not my fault. People who are emotionally immature often won't take responsibility for their own actions when something goes wrong. So what do? They extricate themselves from situations by immediately stating that they are not to blame. Depend. Are they really to blame or not? Or you are accusing others? You see how it is? Is it if I am trying to be the bossy here and controlling freak? Of course, I will use this as a bait from which to blame another into not admit and accept responsibility that I myself am giving to them. You know, that's how things work. So you must evaluate. Is it really their fault? Or they are defend themselves with all the right in the words that they have? So you must evaluate, is it the person really guilty of anything or you are pointing fingers? On the other hand, if that person is at fault and they don't want to take responsibility either in a relationship, in a family, or in a company, whatever, workplace, wherever. So you must leave them alone. Again, leave these people alone. Why you need to point a finger and judge? Let them alone. Let them simmer in their own crap if they are real to blame, if it's real their fault, or you are just, looking for problem yourselves. You understand? Here I'm trying to turn over the table to the judges because I can't stand judges. I know there's many petty and judgmental, critical people out there. No, they are not Virgo. They are not necessarily from the zodiacal sign of a Virgo. They can be anything but Virgo. They can be an Scorpio, they can be a Sagittarius, they can be a Gemini or Aquarius or Pisces, whatever, except or Taurus, Libra, except Virgo. Of course, there's Virgo who are no good as well, okay? Not all Virgo is good. And there's good and bad in all zodiacal horoscope sign of the zodiac. There's good and bad in everything in everybody. I'm just saying because people, these horoscope freaks out there always point fingers at Virgo, saying that Virgo are pretty much judgmental. No, they aren't. They just can't stand the crying baby, critical people, or those who are always complaining that they are hungry with a very bloated, filled up stomach, or they have already what it takes all the tools to build up their lives, but they still want more and they still complain that they don't have enough, and they put themselves in the poor things. You understand? So that's the kind of person that you need to alert them or tell them that they have it. They have all the tools, the financial, the support from family or friends. They have their jobs, they have their country. So what's your problem now? You understand? You need to tell them that. Let them know, because they are complaining too much that they don't have things when they do have, because they are comparing themselves with someone much better and not worse than them. Because when we compare ourselves with someone who has more than us, it's gonna become bitter, very pretty much bitter. However, when we compare ourselves with someone that has less, you either can become thankful or you can become vain and boastful and arrogant. You choose, depend of your energy, what you choose to be at that moment. All right? That's how human and aliens mind works, or even spirit, whatever that is. Okay? That's how the cookies crumble and the creamy cracker. So, second, if you hadn't done that, if you had done that, it would have happened. I hate this word, but sometimes it is crucial and it's important to tell. Let's see one example. Someone who intentionally or consciously do something to hurt another people, knowing the after effect, knowing the the what will happen. They know about the how it could end, but they still go ahead and hurt other people by doing them a disservice, by cheating them, by applying scamming people uh, of their anything, of their time, of their lives, of their youth. A man who marries a young girl and destroys her life, a teenager, an older grown-up man. Okay, so in this case, she, on the future, further up as she grow older, she has all the right in the world to, yes, point a finger at that man or at that woman, if that's the case. How older woman marry a younger guy or vice versa. But usually I'm tell about the norms, because it's always a male taking a younger female, because this is the norm. I'm not gonna talk about the exceptions, but norms, which is very common among our society, in our society. So she has all the right to tell this man off. If anything goes wrong in the future, she can point finger. Yeah, if you hadn't done that, if you haven't grooming me, if you had taken advantage of me, then it would not have happened. Yeah. In a many other cases similar, whereby the victim, when they are young or when they are pretty much unconscious, you see, when they go with the flow like a dead fish, because they don't have much maturity, and they fall into the traps, the cunning, and the Machiavellic or malicious doings or actions of others. Then yes, in this case, if I do something to these people, I have all the right. I have a right to listen to them if they ever tell me this. Okay? So it all will depend. Though just all will depend on the circumstances. How it should be applied, when it should be applied. It's not my fault here. Also depend. Okay? Like for example, a child, as I said before, a child who accidentally drop something at the house and break. He didn't intentionally wanted to do that, but it happened. And well, it's not for him to blame. So the guardian, the caregiver, whatever, the mother, father, auntie, whatever, grandmother or grandfather shouldn't punish that child or that teacher. A teacher and caregiver shouldn't punish the child because it's not his fault. Yeah, he can say, it's not my fault because it's once there, because many people get punished for nothing, for just a small matter, because that's the Draco mentality of punishing, of being sadistic and derive pleasure, have an orgasm, a mental orgasm, and see other people miserable. Do you understand? Those are the sadistic Draco mentality that many here has, unfortunately, and it comes from aliens as well, from your aliens, gods and guardians, whatever. So if you hadn't done that, I already covered up, so that I don't need to explain myself to you. Again, it's going to depend why a person would tell you this. I don't need to explain myself to you. It's again going to depend. So you can almost imagine a little kid saying this one. This phrase is a way for them to avoid any true accountability or genuine communication with the person they are engaging with. Why should a kid be accountable? Why you make a kid accountable for or whoever? Depend of the circumstances. I see here this person, this siblings here, brother, sister here, being far too appetite and too judgmental. You know, these are the kind of people who think they're so right and perfect. Even can't stand that Dr. Phil. I can't stand him. He's so judgmental. So you can almost imagine a little kid saying this one. I don't need to explain myself to you. Again, going to depend on the situation, the circumstances or condition. Why are this person tell this to you? Does uh, he really, you really deserve to answer an explanation from this person? Does he even owe you an explanation really? If so, then he needs to tell you, needs to explain to you. Like, for example, someone who steal anything from you or steal your money. Yeah, they own you something, so they need to explain to you. A person who do something to a child or a vulnerable creature like an animal, a pet, etc., etc. Yes, they need to explain themselves. A person who do stupid thing to an elderly or a vulnerable person in a wheelchair, yes, they need to explain themselves. Okay? Outside of it, and that's why we have judges and that's why we have a lawyer to speak up for you, although not all is honest, of course. But for this reason that we have diplomats and all that are military, all right, to explain things, to see both sides, analyze and weight the pro and cons of every side of the story. In other hands, if for example, uh, let's say my husband, if I have a husband or anybody like that, and he come back late, and I ask him, where have you been? Or if I am a man and I tell to my wife, where have you been? When she come back from work late at night because she want to wait empathy wagon in the train, in the metro, or even in the bus, because it's peak hours and she want to wait for a uh, uh, less crowded public transport. So it's in my obligation to understand my partner, okay, to understand them in these circumstances. I shouldn't even ask where they have been if they are 2 3 hours later from work. But there's some woman and a man who doesn't care. They just want to find problem. You understand? So they stay in the other's um, ears or mind, disturbing. Where have you been? You have another. You have a lover. You see. So all this causes problems. So the other partner who's been accused of something has all the right in the world to tell this other person, I don't owe you any explanation because I know who I am and I know what I have been doing, and my consciousness is clear. Thus, I owe you no explanation whatsoever. And this applies, you should apply this to any circumstances in life whereby you don't own an explanation to nobody, to no son, to no daughter, to no partner, okay? Or even you see when you are a minor, to your mother or father. You don't have explanation to tell them why you are being late. Unless, of course, you are below, I would say, 16-year-old, 15-year-old, then yes, you need to explain and at least send a message to your parents and have your responsibility, a sense of responsibility to tell them where you are hanging around. Okay? Otherwise, if you are a grown-up person above 21, you don't need them explanation. Or you just say, oh, I'm okay, unless you are away, like say 3 days away. Then you tell nothing to your parents. Your parents are worried, dead about you. You have all the obligation in the world to let them know, oh, I'm okay, mom, I'm okay, dad, don't worry about me. Just send a message. Nowadays, there's no reason not to send a message to your parents, to tell them to let their mind at ease, because we are living in a very dangerous world, all right? And the parents do worry. So yes, you want them an explanation. Other than that, if you have given them explanation already or tell them where they are and still they continuing to, to bother you, to disturb you, and then try to control your life, then you need to tell them, I don't need to explain myself to you. I owe you no explanation. Please leave me alone. Cut the umbilical cord. This is applied to about anything. Relationship between two person, which is a sexual relationship, uh, and parents and sons and daughters, or in you know you want an explanation to your boss, of course. If you are late, then you want them an explanation. Otherwise, you don't owe anybody an explanation. Okay, if you know that you have done everything correct and you are not at the wrong, like you don't drink and drive, like you don't steal from nobody, you don't cheat anybody, you don't kill anybody, you don't hurt anybody, then you don't owe anybody an explanation, because you know your consciousness see, and all the cameras, public cameras, is there to prove them who are accusing you wrong. Okay? So that's how it should be applied here. I don't owe you an explanation. Otherwise, yeah, they do need to give an explanation. Okay? In other circumstances, no, they don't need to give you an explanation. So all going to depend in what it applies to. Okay? What's the problem? What's really happened that person doesn't owe you an explanation? You need always to weigh weigh things truly, and come to a just, fair verdict. So let's go to 40. You are overreacting. This one depends. I'm going to explain here the circumstances. And many of you, if you are old enough, you should know by now of all this. Why all this depends. Okay, you are overreacting. This is a combo of gaslighting, trying to make others believe a false reality, and shifting the blame again. The message they are saying that you are the problem, not me. Another toxic phrase in this vein is you are being too sensitive. Again, it will depend why the person is saying that. Suppose you are overreacting. Okay, again, if the person is being accused, the person who is saying this is being accused of fooling around, of have stealing something when they didn't, cheating, etc. Okay, so this other person has the right to tell you are overreact, you are being oversensitive, because you need to have the proof. Unless you have a proof, okay, so again you are overreacting, because you start to point a finger and a judge and make so much trouble, and starting a quarrel for nothing, just because you're not happy about something, or because you want something from that person. Everything, all of these beings emotions is based on unconditional wanting. When you want something from somebody, you need to to humiliate the person a way or another, or even abuse that person, using excuses to abuse them, to humiliate them, to charge them on something, because you think that you are giving far too much, when sometimes not even the case, because everything in life is about exchange. It's like goods and services. You give out and you take back. Sometimes you give more than you take. If what you say you are is a person who is unconditional and doesn't want to make so much problem over material stuff, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, you are at peace with yourself. However, there are those arrogant, greedy, imagined people who always they want to give you an apple or a single banana, and they want to back a huge watermelon, melon in exchange. You know what I mean? So they want to bargain more than they have given out. You see this kind of people? So in this case, when they start a fight with you, you can see that they are overreacting, because indeed, in fact, they are overreacting. Okay? Now, there's a case also where the woman is pretty much sick, or anybody sick at the home, or elderly or child, and you are telling them, you are oversensitive, you are overreacting, just take a paracetamol, or I don't know what, analgesic, and everything gonna be okay. You are overreacting or oversensitive. You understand? There are people like this. Those are the aperics, narcissists. Because when it's their turn, they ask for help. There's a lot of people like that. When it's their turn to feel pain, they ask for help. Oh, please help me. Oh, I feel in pain. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I could you help in something? Give me some medication, or make a tea for me. You understand? But when it's your turn to feel the pain, nobody's there to help you. You know what I mean? So there is this kind of narcissist person. who usually, if you have down on luck, you have to deal with them, be on the workplace or at home or any other aspect of social life that you may encounter. And there is also the case whereby that psychopath hurt an animal, a pet, and you complain, and they come to you and say, "Oh, you are overreact. You are too oversensitive. Even made to a cockroach, also are oversensitive. I kill it." You understand? But that's not a cockroach. That is what? Maybe a cat or a dog or a bird, and you don't have the right to hurt them either. Okay? Unless you are a psychopath, you won't bully, taunt, or hurt that animal. Okay? So if I judge you, you can't turn to me and say, "Oh, you are overreacting," or "You are oversensitive." So that's where this apply. Otherwise, in other cases if you are pointing fingers at people for some banal stuff, some futile stuffs, then the other person can have all the right on the world to let you know that you are indeed overreacting, because you are. Okay, in the case of a hysteric woman, overbearing, jealous woman or man, there's a lot of males like that, or overbearing parents, or even a son or a grown-up son and daughter, okay, who want to control the lives of their elderly parents. Yeah, I have to point it out all this because I need to be concise and very precise and everything I say. So I need to bring all the dirt from the under the carpet and tell. Okay, so as to use as an example to explain where all this kind of things applies to. So fifth, yeah, whatever. That was the Aquarius word, the favorite word. Ah, with the hands up there in the air, whatever. That's the Aquarius mentality. Okay, here we are having the Aquarius mentality. How I know? Because I have a daughter like that. Okay, not because I taunt, I bully her, whatever. Because she have a kid, she need to take care of her kids. Not always abandon or neglect her child. You see, she need to also take a part in raising her kids. So we need to tell them off. And then they go, whatever. Oh, okay. So that's how they act. People use a simple whatever, often for shrug, yeah, if the hands up in the air, whatever, to say, I'm done discussing this. Is emotionally nature method to shut down the paths of communication and figuratively walk away from any further discussion. Here, we are having an individual who are irresponsible, usually Dulce, makes part of an not just in nature, but they're downright irresponsible individual. It's the kind of people who bake their cake and don't want to eat it because they say it's spoiled. Then so they don't give to others. They make their bed and they don't want to lay on it because they say filled with bed bugs. Okay, so they ask others to lay for them. It's just another way to say that there are people who do their screwed up, do their nonsenses in life, screw up, and they don't want to take up responsibility for it. Okay, like for example, if you sign up for something, you have all the right, you should pay because you sign up. Nobody, unless someone asks you to do it for them, then in this case it's not your responsibility, it's the other person's responsibility. But if you fully conscious if you fully conscious knew what you are doing when you decide to do something to take some responsibility, okay, in your life, like get married or having children, when you are already fully conscious of what you are doing, like say you are an adult, 25, 24 above, then you should, take up full responsibility for it. Okay? So if whatever people say to you, you cannot say, whatever, you are talking too much. This is another common uh, phrase that the irresponsible person say is, you are talking too much, because they don't want to take a responsibility. They don't want to own up. Okay? They don't want to be kind, or they don't want to take up responsibility for what they've done. Okay? So they say, whatever, like if they could have a mug and have a saying there in in the mug, it would be, if I do anything here, whatever I do, you take responsibility. I throw my responsibility at you. If anything goes wrong, you take responsibility. I don't care. There's many males like that who stays the female, either they marry or not, or live together. The woman get pregnant, okay? Sometimes they do this because they think that the marriage will work out better, and always that's not the case. Or they want to pin the man, they want to tie up the man in the relationship, so they become pregnant. All this is just this is the result of their experience, their actions together, of mate together. So this is a common occurrence that happens to everybody. Okay, so at least so long time ago in the earlier times, because now there's no more excuses to say that you didn't know, because nowadays we have a lot of anticonceptional methods to stop pregnancy, unwanted pregnancy. But there are men, even long time ago, not just nowadays, who bake their cake, don't want to eat it. They make the woman pregnant, and they get out. They don't want to take responsibility. Okay, this is another type of irresponsible man. So if the woman come to them and say, I'm gonna make a DNA test to prove that you are the father, whatever, go ahead. Do you know what I mean? So that's the case here. Although there's many cases whereby the man is not the father, like have been already been proven. So what are you talking about? I never said that. This is a very disgusting kind of person. Okay, this is a very disgusting kind of a person. Either the one who accuses the person to have said that, have make up story for you, put words on your mouth and your mind, or the other one who have promised something or said something and go back on their word. How many of you guys didn't have to deal with this kind of people? Be them whatever they are, a partner, spouse, a daughter, a son, a mother, father. How many of them? So here we go again with the gaslighting. People who are emotionally immature rewrite reality both for themselves and possibly more importantly for others. When someone says something like this, they are typically trying to evade responsibility and make you think something else happened. No, they are trying to be smart, cunning, and crook. because they are bad character. They usually will promise something, say, yeah, I gonna, yeah. When they want to have their cake and eat it, they will say anything or do anything. They will promise hell, a heaven in the sea, ocean for you. But once they get what they want, either in a business, be it in a business and marriage, etc., in a partnership, or any other circumstances in our social life, these kind of people will promise you, but they will back off. And for this reason, that is good to have always agreement signed by this person, so that if they go back on their words, they'll have to pay for it and be sued. You understand? Because that's the only way to teach this person a lesson. Because they are trying to be smart, not only crook, but smart aleck, cunning, and irresponsible. So they would promise you something now, and a years later they would go back in their word and say, "Since when I said that? I never said that." You understand? So is another good reason is to take a video and keep when they are saying that, take a video to prove that they have said that. Although nowadays there's a lot of edition and a lies, we cannot always catch it, and you know, fake video around you that we cannot make sure that whether it's genuine or not. Okay, but the best way to have proof that that person have really said that, and now they are going back in their word. Okay, going back in their word. They are not men enough to admit it and to sustain that they really have done that or said that. Okay, there's people like this. But at the same time, we cannot just blame others and make up story for others and how to say demonize others, condemn others in a how to say that word in the make false allegations. Okay, you need to have proof. You cannot just go around and make false allegations about a person. So number 7 is your problem, not mine. Yeah, this again is the same type of this person here. It's usually the irresponsible psychopath narcissist. It's your problem, not mine. It's again the person who eat the cake together, who build a house together, build a bed together, but don't want to lay on it, don't want to eat its own cake, or simmer in their own field. In this case, emotionally mature people walk away from any complicated issue by throwing it onto someone else and dismissing any and all responsibility. It is the perfect example of transparency. Exactly, yeah. It's your problem, not mine. So they always don't want to accept that they also have a involvement in this, in the problem that other people is having right now. Like for example, if I am responsible for anything, for a kid, for my elderly, for my kids, for a pet, then it's my responsibility to care for them till the end. Okay, I cannot just let it go middle way. I must care until the end. Okay, I make a commitment and I must fulfill it. If I have integrity, what we call integrity and honesty, something that has the way in gold in today's world. Not say today's world, in this universe. It has been like this for eons, this kind of, irresponsibility, bad character, behavior, attitude, etc. And this alien human needs here. So in this case, so usually they walk away. When the goals get tough, Johnny or Mary get going. But when it was easier, they were there pretending to be your family member or your friend. When things was easier for you, but when it gets tough, they get going. You understand how these irresponsible ones behave? It's a do Draco mentality for you. They don't care because they don't have integrity. They don't care. They don't know the meaning of integrity, honesty, unconditional love. They don't know any of it. They really don't. Empathy towards the suffering of others. When the others were rejoicing something, they were there to just to suck energy, you see, of that person. Once that person is in the lodge, as we call it, they are down the drain, nobody extends a hand to help lift up that person off the drain. Do you understand what I mean? So they will tell you it's your problem. Simmer in your own filth. Even as I have walked with you in the same path, and I was there with you during your ups. Now that you are down, I don't want to make part of this down. I just want you when you are up. You know what I mean? There are people like that. 8. You will make such a big deal out of nothing. Usually you hear that from teenagers. But here will depend. Just don't disturb these people. Let them grow up and ask them to get the hell out of your life. If they don't want to own up and have responsibility in knowing the meaning of sharing as a community and a partnership in family or society, then ask them to just buzz off. Okay, so another example of invalidating other people, and the one that is used in both personal and professional relationships, by saying phrases like this: an emotionally mature person is dismissing the other person's concerns and opinions and belittling their reaction. Okay, in this case, if you are telling this to a person who don't want to own up and have responsibility in life, stay away from them in a way or another. Let them swim in their own crap, in their own filth. Okay, but don't instigate quarrel, because this kind of people usually they have no calms, they have no sense of uh, dignity or what it means to live in society, fairness, and cooperation. So let them be. So, you see, but you cannot also start the trouble for nothing. Like, for example, a person cannot help you in some deals or business, whatever, or pay the house bills, or even a workplace. You cannot go there and start a noise, because you this and that, you are not cooperating, you are not giving enough. Like I said, like you was told earlier, is a matter of you weigh though how much you are exchange among each other. You are giving less than I. Sometimes you are giving less because all you have to give, not because you don't want to give more, but all you want to give, all you have to give. After all, a person gives what they own, what they have. Okay? They give up to what they have. They cannot give more than what they don't have. And saying I cannot give more of the things that I don't have to others. I can only give what I have. Okay? What I'm capable of giving. So that person will come to you and start a scalable argument, fighting, etc., is by instigating you and then throw at your face that uh, you are not cooperating enough as it was expected. Understand? So what you can do, if you are giving enough already, then you know that's all what you can give. In that circumstances, that case or that relationship, then you need to tell them this. You are making such a big deal out of nothing. Like there's people who like to make trouble over spilled water on the floor or milk. They create much ado about nothing. A tempest out of a cup of water. In this case, you need to point it out, yeah, you are making such a big deal out of nothing. However, if the person has a reason, a valid reasons to be telling you this, you need to listen to that person and need to own up to your duty. What is your position in that circumstances? What is your duty? What's your duty to do in that circumstances? Is there anything as a father, as a mother, as a son, daughter, oldest one, as a part of the family, or a co-worker, a boss, a employer or employee, a government, subject, etc. You all must weigh all this, and come to be equitable. Understand? Come to accountability and be equitable. 9, you are talking about the past. Yes, it's usually best to focus on the future, but emotionally immature people will often accuse people who bring up their mistakes of harping on the past. They don't want to learn from their mistakes, and they don't want an honest discussion about whatever is happening. They want to move on without addressing the issue. You're talking about the past. Here is again going to depend. If it is really important to talk about the past, so to make things amends, defend your thesis, ensure a problem, etc., even a legal problem, you need to talk about the past. However, other than that, it's better not to keep on, no, to keep on harping in and bring about the past time and time again, because passing water won't move in windmill. Okay, it's passed already. It won't move the windmills. So let it go. Focus on the present. Past is best to be remembered when the memories are good. If the memories weren't good, there's no point in bother or harping about it. Okay? Just forget and move on. After all, we live for the present, not the past. We don't live for future or no past. Okay? So don't talk much about it. And if someone accuses you of something and you have a backup past story to tell, then it's just natural that you tell a person off by bringing up the past so as to make things amends, okay? Makes things right. Like, for example, the people who are accusing you of something in the present, you did it that when they themselves did something exactly the same in the past. Okay, I'm gonna cite a story about, another story is an example of a man who have cheated on the past. If or vice versa, maybe a woman who cheat the man or man who cheat the woman in the past, and if they are the karma hit them back, the cheetah back one day. So this is karma hitting you back. So you must tell your partner past if he have done the same, or any other person who blame you of something, accuse you, judges you, say, oh, you are doing now this kind of thing. You are doing no, you are a promiscuous or an insane person or not dignified person because you do drugs or you are an alcoholic person. Your character is so like it's very promiscuous and illicit. But if you know that that person that's accusing you, judging you now, the present of you being that, have done the same, so throw back at them, bring the mirror and show them their own reflection in the mirror. So let them know you also have done the same. So why do you accuse on others what you yourself have done? Have you no shame why you are so hypocrite and fake and fake person when you have done the same? It's just like you are slapping your hands with another. We cannot throw a stone on the neighbor's grass door if ours is made up of grasses as well, of glasses. Because one day the neighbor can come and hit back in your windows or glass door and I'm going to shatter, right? There's a metaphor, an example why we shouldn't accuse or judging others for the things that we ourselves have been or done in the past. Okay, so how this thing works here is a everything is a two-way street. Okay, it goes both way. So we must evaluate accordingly and properly so as to reach a fair verdict. So 10. I was just joking. Here's an example of how emotionally mature people passively, aggressively avoid taking responsibility for what they say. It might sound like they are trying to smooth things over, but actually more of a way of critiquing someone, then distancing themselves by their statement. Why do you care? If someone has criticized you, criticize them back. Why do you care? Or just I know them. There's many people who are very sarcastic and they criticize you in a very sarcastic way. So let it go. Why you care about it? Let them go. I wouldn't mind about these people. Whether they want joking or serious, I have dealing with this kind of people all of my life. I just call them a bad character. I tell them you are just being a bad character and I don't appreciate your silly jokes. Okay, because I'm bloody serious. And they from there on they no more say snide remark past snide remarks at me. No more. I told them frankly, you see, you are being sarcastic and trying to be fun, but I don't like your remarks. I don't appreciate it. It sounds like you, for your age, you are too old already. You should know better. And it makes you looks like a crook and a very stupid person indeed. From that day on, that person no more said any more snide joke past any snide joke at me in a sarcastic way. No more. So 11. You always slash you never. Emotionally matured people use broad generalizations instead of engaging in constructive, honest conversation or using specific examples. They will issue an accusatory blanket statement and use that to avoid any further discussion. Again, leave them alone. Why you care about these people? If they don't own you nothing, they don't have commitment towards you, so why you care what they are saying you're doing? I wouldn't. You always, you never. There's people who say like this, oh, you always never do this and that to me. So you must say, why must I? It's going to depend on circumstances. Like if you are a kid, a young kid, you have all the right on the world to tell me, why you never take me out to go walk with me to the park? Or maybe, I don't know, buy for me ice cream or whatever. Then they have a reason to tell me that. They have an obligation to tell me that. It's okay. Has a right. So it's okay. I will understand and I will accept my blame and I make up for it. Other than that, a person who I don't own anything, they don't have the right to come to me and I tell you always, you never. Why should I in the first place? Do I own you anything in the first place? Do I? So you must evaluate who is telling you this. Who are telling you this? Okay? You must say wait. So 12, but everyone does it. If there is one phrase that really sounds like a kid said it, it's this one. How many of you guys use it? But all the kids are doing the argument, try usually in vain to get our parents to allow us to do something. But emotionally mature adults use it too. They pull out the time honored, everyone is doing it argument and justification for something they want to do or already have done. Of course, blameless they are blameless if they've done something wrong. They were just going along with the crowd after all. So what? Why you care? Why you care? In this case, this person who has said that, the person who has judged this person for saying, but everyone does it, is the one bothering about other people's lives. And as I say, the day people starting to bother their own life to heal themselves before attempt to heal others, things will be better. Why should I care when if I judge the person? Why you are smoking? Why you are going around play the fool? Why are you even taking drugs, doing drugs or taking alcohol or fooling around in a very promiscuous way? Why should I say that in the first place if the person is already adult, old enough to know what they are doing? Huh? I am the one who should be mind my own business, okay, and not telling others what they should or not doing. After all, life is an experience, and if someone has to fall based on that experiences, it won't be me, but that person, okay? My duty here would be to guide that person when they are ready. After all, when the disciple is ready, the master, the guru will appear. The disciple must first be ready for us to guide them, not we push the flow. Do you understand how it works? So this is how life would be pretty much better if we mind our own businesses. After all, if you don't own anything to anybody, you shall not judge. It's only when you yourself own up that you judge too much for no good reason. Unless there's a very good reason, you are being a victim of something, you are being hurt. Then you have the reason to complain, to get off your chest and explain, and then just tell it off, as it is. Otherwise, you don't have the right to go around and judging people for the things they do. Instead, you must be compassionate enough to think, my God, imagine if you are me there. or stand, I mean, raise your hands to the 12, number 12, but everyone does it. If there's one phrase that really sounds like a kid is saying, it's this one. How many of us use it? But all the kids have used it, but all the kids that do it, argument, trying usually in vain to get our parents to allow us to do something, but emotionally immature adults use it too. Well, I don't know about this adults, emotionally immature adults do it. As for kids, they have a reason for saying that. Usually they have overbearing people around them who doesn't allow them to do just about anything in life. Okay, so the person becomes restricted. We are here to experience life because we are in duality. Thus, every kind of experience, even those you see as bad, is a lesson to be learned, to be absorbed, and to, how to say, and to make sure that if it's bad, that you don't do it again, repeat history. It's to be refined, absorb it, you refine it, and throw away the things, the parts that doesn't bring in benefits to you, to your spirit. Okay, you just take the parts, the mosaics that adds up to the construction of the mural. What doesn't add up to the construction? Throw it away. So they pull out the time honored everyone do it argument as a justification for something they want to do or already have done. Of course, they are blameless. They are blameless if they've done something wrong. They were just going along with the crowd. After all, no. So what if they have done or do it or will do it? Is it of your business? I mean, things will be simpler and better in this world when we start minding our own damned business and stop pointing fingers at others. I just feel like I dislike this kind of people. You know, I dislike. Why don't they just mind their own business if they are not here to heal the room? At least don't add this up more gas, more poisonous, suffocating gas into their room. Okay? That's how I see things. That's my motto. Just don't go there to add more insults to injury. If people want to do something, which won't, of course, hurt somebody or something, let them. Let them learn from their faults. They will eventually learn something from it. So what you are doing here by pointing finger and judging is to stop that soul, that spirit from accumulate experience and from learning from the fall, and I stand up from the ashes like a phoenix. Am I right? So the world will be a better place when you start mind your own damned business instead of trying to clean your neighbor's yard. Clean yourself first. Because there's much to clean in ourselves than in others. See, so before pointing fingers, go there and help. Do a good job. Stop pointing fingers and be a hindrance, obstacle or a rock on onto people's path of experience here, of course. So if the person to say that, be it a kid or a kids, a youth, or an adult, is because first of all, they don't know how to answer back at you. Because I will just ask you to mind your damned business. You see? Because people are quick to judge, but they are very slow to help. In the descent, on the way down, every damned saint or ascended master, whatever it is, devils help. On your descent, they push you easily for you to fall into the abyss. But on the ascension and the climbing up of the ladder, be it of success, finances, emotional, whatever, spiritual, they want to help you. It's very difficult for someone to give you the hands and remove you from the drain. Instead, they will try to push you further into the drain by pointing fingers, just judging. And the force any blemishes of the mind may throw the first stone, like Sophia, Jesus used to say, throw the first stone. Okay, Sophia here is just a ephemeral, is just a symbol, okay, of the duality of the good and the bad, the abyss and the ascension. It's just a symbol, but maybe something wants to pass up on Sophia, which would be a goddess somewhere in Orion, somewhere near Sirius, etc. However, it is just a metaphor, all right? It doesn't exist per se. Yeah, he, which is an androgynous being, in essence, she came here as Jesus, but in many others avatar. However, it is just a symbol, all right? For me, I see it as a symbol, just part of the eons from the 13 eons above, but it is just an ascended beings that have lived for a long time here on this earth. But it's also a symbol. It's not really a being. That's how I view it, because everything comes from the cosmos, from the core of the atoms and subatomic particles. Okay, so the things that you see as God is saying to me, I'm not speaking for others. I speak for myself. I see it as just enlightened beings who have been here in these other universes prior to us, but they don't have much help here. They don't offer much helping hands. I don't see much helping hands for many people here. Okay, so I don't see it as gods, but just ascended beings. Okay, that's how I view it. So fear may be a symbol on just an androgynous being that have lived somewhere in the 13 eons above. So, like I was saying, here is a duality. We are living in a duality. As such, there's nobody perfect. I'm not perfect. I am imperfect. I'm imperfect being filled with blemishes. Okay? Filled with errors. I try to perfectionate myself sometimes by using my good side. It's a duality, of course. And nobody that comes here is perfect in this world. Nobody. Okay? So, the day we started to see that, seeing things as it is, we will stop pointing finger. Because if you're not there to alleviate the pain, then don't be the poison ivy or acid. Don't throw acid at others' wounds. Okay, if you're not there to balsamize it, to alleviate the pain. So if someone tells you that, but everyone does it, so what? Is their right to say that's their business? As long as they are not doing anything directly wrong to affect others, the lives of others, let it go, let it be. Follow your path and allow others theirs. Okay? Because ain't nobody here sent. Actually, sometimes people judge another to feel bad about the crap that they have done. They have screwed so much in their lives, and now because they reach another level of evolution or whatever, of attitude and behavior, they, instead of learn from their mistakes, they chooses to stay on top of the ladder, spitting on the people that is where they were before, on the lower portion of the ladder of evolution, mental, consciential evolution. Okay, that's how humans and aliens behave this way. Okay, the not so evolved ones. So usually these people who love to judge us a lot, usually they are judging themselves through others, and they are just judging to feel bad about themselves. Understand? For the nonsense that they have done before in their lives. So they see themselves in the past, their past selves in that person in the present. So instead of understand and I give a hand and I help those who have fell, they chooses steady to kick them and throw stones. And this is a very stupid, very mean, very low class even kind of attitude. And some people here in outside of this planet. So that's all for now.